Good afternoon, everyone. You're tuned into the Community Hour on NuSound Radio 92 FM with myself, Nish. Today is Wednesday, the 4th of June, and the time is 10 minutes past 12. And live in the studio, we've got Guy Schalom. Hello.
Hi, Nish.
How are you?
Fantastic.
Thanks so much for joining us here on NuSound Radio today.
Thanks. Great to be here.
Thanks for coming down. And so, would you like to introduce yourself firstly to the listeners and tell them a bit about yourself?
Sure. Yeah, well, I'm a drummer, first and foremost. I also run a band, the Egyptian band, the Baladi Blues Ensemble. It's my collaboration with some older generation Egyptian musicians who really have that cafe, that cafe style of Egyptian dance music, really down pat. So it's one of my favourite projects at the moment.
So how did you get started into, getting involved in Egyptian music?
Well, yeah, it was. I was playing lots of Jewish music and other kind of world music. I got myself a darabuka, was trying to learn how to play it, and I met an older Egyptian gentleman at a party called Sheikh Taha. Mm-hmm. And I realised that this gentleman was one of the accordionists that I had been listening to in my sort of formative years learning about Egyptian music, and we struck a friendship instantly, and we played together. He showed me some of the ropes. We supported each other in getting the band together, and the rest is history, really.
That's really good. So you said, what was the name of the instrument?
My instrument?
The one you said you were trying to learn.
Oh, yeah, the darabuka. I'm sorry.
So
that's a hand drum, one of the Egyptian hand drums. That's a solo instrument from the Middle East, very popular around the Middle East and Egypt. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you play it with your hands and fingers, and you can get lots of different sounds out of it, and I think that's probably why it's so popular, because dancers love the instrument because you can solo on it, and other musicians like it because you can get lots of different textures and sounds out of it, and it's very powerful as well. It's got some really deep, fat bass that really gets you wanting to move.
Yeah, sounds great, especially for dancing.
Yeah, definitely.
So how many people are in the Baladi Blues band?
Well, we've got a core. We've got a core of 5 members, actually. It's quite sad. The founding member, founding accordionist Sheikh Taha, passed away last week. It's quite sad. But we've got thank you. But we've got another accordionist who's called Gamal, and he's actually just as fantastic. And so there's a core of 5 of us: saxophone, accordion, and three drummers in the band. But we do invite guests from time to time, and in fact our album launch next week is we've got bass, drums, and guitar, and some electronics going on. So we've got a little bit of a Baladi Blues Plus, I suppose, next week going on.
Sounds great. So that's your album launch next week?
That's right, yes.
And how many albums have you released so far?
I was counting them up. This is actually going to be the 7th in my name, which is quite something. I never thought that would ever happen, especially for a pet project, Mm-hmm. So but I think the popularity and I think the support of our crowd and our fans has really kept us going over the years. Sometimes when the odds are against you and you're working very hard and you're at home trying to get things happening, or you're in the studio, you're wondering if anyone will ever listen to this music, and then you release the album and people do like it and do enjoy it and share it, and people come to the gigs. Mm-hmm. It kind of keeps you going.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It is a great sound, and I did start off the show playing one of your songs. It does sound quite different, though, doesn't it? It's sort of been remixed, hasn't it? Exactly, yes.
This is a new direction for us. Let's say our first few albums were, let's say, more, how you might hear Baladi music, Baladi being the Egyptian urban dance music. Mm-hmm. Of, let's say, the cafes and weddings of Cairo, Alexandria. We were fairly true to the original sound that I grew up listening to. Mm-hmm. With this album, we're taking a step forward. I think we've collaborated with some amazing DJ producers from Transglobal Underground, for instance, Camel Nitrate, and others, to create a new sound. I do love mixing, technology and progressing the music that I'm playing. I don't like to sit still. So I was searching for a new sound, and this was the most appealing to me at the time, and it's worked out quite well, I think.
Yeah, it sounds really good. Is this the first time you've done this kind of album?
Yeah, this is a first for me personally, and first for this band, and in most of the other projects I've worked in as well. This is the first, so really excited.
Yeah, it sounds great. And I'm going to play the second single on your album now for the listeners. Would you like to introduce it?
Yeah, this is Ma'oud Part 1, The Promise.
You're tuned into the Community Hour, and live in the studio we have Guy Schalom from Baladi Blues Ensemble. Hello.
Hi.
That was a great tune there. So that was an instrumental track.
That's right.
From your brand new album. And so do you have any singers on the album as well?
Yeah, we've got one vocal track, and that's sung by Abdul Salam Khair, fantastic Lebanese singer that guests with us from time to time. Okay. He sang the second part of that tune that you just heard, Ma'oud Part 2, and he sang that on our previous album. And we got Camel Nitrate in to come and help us remix that. So yeah, there's one vocal track on the new album. Yeah.
Okay, so do you get the opportunity to perform your music abroad in Egypt or anywhere?
Egypt, that would be a dream come true for me. Especially seeing as I was born in Israel, and there's something, but my dad was born in Cairo.
Okay.
There's some of those political and social things, those ideas come to me, and I think it would be quite a powerful thing to achieve, perhaps to perform in Cairo with my band. That'd be amazing one day. Let's see.
I'm sure you will be able to. It'll be great if you do. Do you get the opportunity to go over there and listen to music and, develop your sound as well?
Yeah, I did spend a lot of time in Cairo and in Luxor in the south, really learning to play. I followed the bands around. I played, frame drums in the bands and some darabuka sometimes. That's how I learned, I think, most of what I put into practice these days in the band. Yeah, so that was a very, very important part of my sort of early 20s. But I don't get so much time to do that now, sadly. But, it's always very inspiring when I do go back.
Yeah, it must be.
Yeah.
So not only are you a drummer and a band leader, you're also a dancer as well.
I do dance, yes. Well, part of my development in Cairo, especially in Luxor, in the south of Egypt, was hanging out with the musicians, and generally all musicians, all men in Egypt dance, and they dance publicly, and they really enjoy it. So I couldn't really get away from dancing. They wouldn't really let me. So I learned a lot of the sort of movement vocabulary of Egyptian male dancers, and especially there's a specific style that's derived from that area, using a quarterstaff as a very large stick, and you swing it about your head, and there's lots of jumping. It's quite macho, really.
Okay.
So I learned to do that, and I'm quite lucky that I got an opportunity to put that into practice. And every now and again you'll see me do it on stage. It's been a few years now, so you never know.
Well, will you be dancing next week?
I haven't planned on it, but you never know.
Might surprise the audience and the band members as well.
Yes, maybe I'll see if I can sneak my stick in backstage and see if no one notices.
So you are performing next week, and that is your album launch as well. Can you let the listeners know a bit more about that?
Sure. That's Friday the 13th, easy to remember. Friday the 13th of June. Lucky for some. And that's at the Hoxton Underbelly in Hoxton Square. If you want tickets and details about that, you just visit my website, and that's www.guyshalom.com, and then Shalom is spelled S-C-H-A-L-O-M.
So that's where everyone can keep up to date with all of your latest music and all your shows as well.
That's right. You can get details about all our gigs. You can find plenty of podcasts, videos, lots of information about Egyptian music, Baladi music specifically that we're playing, news about my other projects, and lots of information if you want to learn a little bit more about the music that we play.
Sounds great. And so you've got this album which is launching next week.
Yeah.
Do you know what else you've got planned in the future?
Yeah, well, a few festivals around. Very, very happy to be going back to the Sfat Klezmer Festival, klezmer being Eastern European Jewish wedding music.
Okay.
And also a Jewish festival in Warsaw. I've got my own Egyptian drumming residential course at the end of October, so I'm really excited about that. It's my first one ever, so people can come and learn to play the Egyptian hand drums.
That's great. Where's that going to be?
That's going to be up in Hitchin, so it's only 30 minutes north of London by train. And I think there's still 1 or 2 places left, so people can drop by the website and get some information on that if they're interested.
Wicked. And you're on Twitter as well, aren't you?
I am on Twitter, yeah, at Guy Schalom, and Facebook, everything.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Guy, for coming into the studio today.
Thanks so much.
And best of luck with your performance next week and your album launch.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really
Definitely want to have you back here in the studio again and with your drum as well.
Anytime.
So you can do a little set.
Absolutely, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
NuSound Radio.